Revealed. The waitress discovered her life-changing secret. Is the millionaire her father? Jenna wiped the counter and took a deep breath in the diner, where laughter blended with the sizzling of the grill. The familiar buzz comforted her, a rare moment of ease in a life shaped by endless struggles since her parents' tragic passing. She flashed her warm smile, the one that lit up her eyes, while pouring coffee for the usuals who cherished their morning rituals. Each cup was a lifeline, just like her tireless shifts, all part of her mission to send her brother to college. As another wave of customers shuffled in, Jenna glanced at the door, taken aback by the presence of a well-dressed man. Sam stepped inside. Luxury dripped from his tailored suit, and even the air seemed to shift around him. He was no ordinary diner patron. Curiosity piqued, Jenna pushed aside her initial judgment. Another wealthy outsider? Probably just slumming for a meal. But when he approached, greeting her with a charming smile that brightened the room, she couldn't help but engage. His humor flowed effortlessly, weaving through their banter like a thread, reminding her of stories shared with her own folks before life got complicated. Each laugh cracked a little of the armor she had built, made stronger by loss, but heavier too. The resemblance of their hometowns added a layer of intrigue that tugged at something deep inside her, sparking a flicker of hope that maybe, just maybe, they shared more than just laughter. Sam eventually revealed he was on a quest to discover his estranged family, a revelation that sent Jenna's heart racing. The possibility twisted tight in her chest, fueling a chaotic mix of fear and hope. Could he be related to her? Could he be a phantom father, lingering in the shadows of her broken heart? Picturing herself confronting the last vestiges of her maternal life in a lost sibling sent tremors through her. Around her, the diner buzzed with its supportive community, friends and regulars who felt like family. They rallied, sharing stories of their own struggles and resilience over burgers and fries, breathing warmth into the cool, hard steel of her doubts. Jenna stole glances at Sam, absorbing every hint he dropped of his past. Could he be part of the answer she had been seeking in the silence of her heart? But history has a way of revealing itself in brutal ways. Just as she began to believe he could be different, darkness clouded the warmth of their connections. A shocking family secret unraveled before them like a thunderstorm. Words were thrown sharp as daggers, emotions spilling over, drowning out the joy that had ignited between them. Jenna's world swayed on its axis. Would forgiveness open the doors to family, or would it slam in her face like a door caught in a tempest? Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications, so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now, let's continue. As the diner hummed and buzzed around her, the stakes grew impossibly high. Sam's smile faded, replaced by silence and regret, and her heart ached at the thought of what could have been. Tension crackled between them. Words unsaid lingered, and the memories of her parents danced in the periphery, whispering of all she had lost and yearned to recover. Jenna stood at the precipice, heart racing, questioning everything she knew about family, forgiveness, and moving forward. Would she find the strength to face this revelation? To embrace the pain and hope mingling in her soul? Or would she choose to walk away from the possibility of a family once more? The diner, her heart, and the universe held their breath, waiting to see what Jenna would choose next. Jenna's mind raced, fog swirling around her thoughts, each pounding heartbeat drowning out the clatter of dishes and murmur of conversations. The diner's familiarity, once a reprieve, felt foreign now, its comforting hum replaced by an unsettling tension. Sam stood just a few feet away, vulnerability evident in his eyes, yet an impenetrable wall seemed to rise between them. Jenna, I didn't mean for it to come out like that. Sam's voice was low, breaking the silence that had ensnared them. What I said, my family, it's complicated. I didn't want what? She snapped, unable to contain the sting of hurt. Each word felt like a splinter, threatening to surface the deep-seated scars left by her past. To ruin whatever connection we had? Because it feels like all you've done is drop a bomb and walk away. The smile she once wore so easily had vanished, replaced by a fierce determination she didn't know she possessed. She folded her arms, grounding herself against the emotional whirlwind within. Sam was an enigma. Was he truly there to find family? Or was his visit just another luxury he could afford? I didn't come here to hurt you. I thought maybe we might have something. His voice faded into a whisper, and she could see his resolve weakening. The reality of what they might be facing, this tangled web of secrets, loomed larger than either expected. Jenna stepped back and took a breath. The room felt stifling, the warmth of the kitchen now unsettling. Her gaze lingered on Sam for a heartbeat longer, searching for remnants of connection in the rich brown of his eyes. She instinctively reached up to touch her necklace, a small locket that had belonged to her mother, her only tangible link to a past that felt further away by the second. We could find out the truth, Sam suggested, hope creeping into his voice, a faint hint that they could navigate this path together. I can help you search. We can... Help? You think that's enough? Jenna interrupted, bitterness shimmering at the edges of her words. You don't know what this means for me. I've been carrying this weight alone since I was 11. You can't just waltz in here, looking for family, while I'm just trying to hold myself together. A flush crept up her cheeks as emotion threatened to spill over. Sam ran a hand through his hair, frustration playing for control on his handsome face. I understand. I really do. But I can't pretend this doesn't matter just because it's messy. We can't run from the past forever. Panic bubbled within her. What if Sam was everything she dreamed her father might have been? What if he wasn't? In a moment of vulnerability, Jenna cursed fate, for throwing them together only to rip them apart in the end. She could feel her breath quickening as the weight of uncertainty pressed down harder. Why does it feel like all I do is lose? She murmured, her defeat laid bare between them. What if you're just another cruel twist of fate? Another door that's destined to close just as it opens? For a moment, a crack formed in her resolute facade. Sam stepped closer, his gaze piercing through the stone she'd built around her heart. What if it's a chance? A real shot to know, to understand? Don't you want to explore that? Jenna's heart thudded against her chest. Could she take that leap? Could she dare to believe in a future that might finally include family? She hesitated, caught in a maelstrom of emotions, wondering where this conversation would lead. And just as she opened her mouth to respond, the bell over the diner door jingled, breaking the moment like glass shattering on the floor. All eyes turned as a figure stepped in, and Jenna's breath caught in her throat. A young woman with striking resemblance to Sam stood in the doorway, her eyes narrowed with determination. Someone from his past? Or a potential key to the family secrets that had begun to unravel? Jenna's pulse quickened. What if this was the answer she needed? Sam, the newcomer called, her voice steady but with a thread of uncertainty threaded through it. We need to talk. Now. Jenna felt a chill race down her spine. There was no turning back now. Everything seemed to freeze for a heartbeat. The clattering of plates, the sizzling of pancakes on the grill, and the murmur of chatter melted into a deafening silence. Jenna's eyes darted between Sam and the newcomer, her heart pounding like a drum. The young woman's fierce gaze held a secret, but it was also a challenge. Who is she? Jenna managed to ask, her voice barely a whisper. The weight of the moment pressed down on her. Everything she thought she knew was now hanging by a thread. Sam shifted, his expression tightening as he turned to his sister. Olivia, what are you doing here? Olivia's presence filled the small diner like a thundercloud, casting shadows over everything Jenna had been brave enough to confront just moments before. "I came to find you. This is bigger than both of us, Sam," she said urgently. "You don't understand the risk." A flicker of vulnerability danced in Sam's eyes. "I thought I needed to know. I thought hatching these old family skeletons wouldn't put you in danger. Is that what you're saying?" Jenna felt the tension shift, and for a moment, the world around her faded. The truth they were both after might not be what they expected. Her heart raced. What truth lay behind Olivia's stormy demeanor? "Is it about Dad?" Sam pressed, his voice low but laced with a desperation Jenna hadn't heard before. Olivia hesitated, her expression softening for the briefest moment, revealing a glimpse of pain. "It's not just about him. This involves Jenna too, and the family we thought we left behind." Jenna felt her breath hitch as the implications of those words washed over her. Who was this young woman, and how was she tied into this twisted family saga? "What do you mean?" she blurted out, frustration bubbling inside her. "What about my family?" "Jenna, there's something we need to tell you," Olivia said, stepping forward, urgency pulsing in her tone. "Something that could change everything." Suddenly, the diner felt even smaller, its intimate warmth replaced by a chill of realization. Jenna was tangled in a web of emotions, confusion, and unwanted revelations. She glanced back at Sam, searching for some reassurance in his expressive eyes. The connection they'd shared moments before flickered under the strain of this new truth. What had felt like a promising path toward family now seemed riddled with uncertainty. "What could you possibly—" Jenna began, but her voice caught in her throat as Olivia reached for a worn envelope tucked beneath her arm. It was creased and faded, as if holding years' worth of secrets. With trembling hands, Olivia placed it gently on the table. "Everything you think you know." Olivia's voice trailed off as Jenna stared at the envelope, the silence laden with unspoken words. Jenna's heart pounded furiously against her ribcage. The anticipation was deafening. Could this be the missing piece she had longed for? "Open it," Sam urged softly, his eyes wide with uncertainty and hope. Jenna hesitated, the envelope feeling like a ticking time bomb. Would it hold answers, or more chaos? Taking a shaky breath, she reached for it. The moment felt monumental, thick with the weight of decisions yet to come. As her fingers grazed the paper, she wondered, what awaited her on the other side? With one last look at Sam and Olivia, she finally pulled her gaze up, determination coursing through her veins. Whatever lay inside could change everything. But was she ready to unveil the truth? As she opened the envelope, the air around her felt electric, pregnant with possibilities. What revelation would surface next? And would it be the truth she had been searching for, or a new layer of complexity in a story that was already hard to bear? As Jenna peeled back the flap of the worn envelope, her hands felt numb. Time seemed to stretch as she carefully unfolded the delicate paper within. Her eyes roamed the aged script, every word tugging at her curiosity and fear alike. "Jenna, are you okay?" Sam's voice broke through the haze, concern etched into his features. His warmth grounded her, but uncertainty still fluttered in her stomach. Olivia leaned closer, her breath held as if anticipating a storm. The diner, once a cozy haven filled with laughter and food, felt like a courtroom, heavy with anticipation. Jenna's eyes flew across the words, legal terms, names she recognized, and others she didn't. The name at the bottom stopped her cold. "Wait a minute." Jenna's voice cracked, disbelief draping over her. She pointed at the scrawled signature. This can't be real." The room dimmed, shadows of doubt creeping back in. "What is it?" Sam leaned in, curiosity piqued. The tension was palpable. Even the cook from behind the counter had paused to listen. Jenna struggled to form words. The paper felt like a hot iron in her hands, its weight heavy with implications. It mentions a trust, set up for me by someone named Charles Grayson, my father. A gasp resonated from Olivia, but it was quickly swallowed by the din of the diner returning to its normal hustle. Jenna's heart raced, confusion twisting her insides again. Could it be true? Everything she thought she knew about her life and family history felt like it could unravel in an instant. You're saying, you think Charles Grayson is your father? Sam's eyes were wide, searching hers for answers she didn't yet know. Is there more? Olivia pressed, her voice barely above a whisper. Jenna felt her pulse thrumming in her ears, and reluctant tears pooled in her eyes. She forced herself to read further. The envelope contained more than just a name. There were details about a property, financial figures, everything that pointed to a past Jenna had never been a part of. My mother. She never said anything about this, Jenna said, her voice trembling. It felt wrong to hold this truth, to know that the world she'd built was a fragile facade. Maybe she was trying to protect you, Sam suggested, a hint of sadness creeping into his voice. Or maybe it was too painful for her. Jenna shook her head. The pieces were falling into place, yet the picture was horrifyingly unclear. It felt as if she was standing on the edge of a cliff. All my life I grew up knowing one story. Now this. It feels like a betrayal. Olivia reached out and touched Jenna's arm gently, offering a connection in this whirlwind of emotions. It's okay to feel lost. This is a lot to take in. But we need to find out the truth together. Jenna looked between them, a swell of conflicting emotions crashing over her, the warmth of family, the raw ache of betrayal, the spark of something new just beyond reach. Sam and Olivia were becoming more than companions in a shared struggle. They were becoming her anchors, allies in a quest for the truth. As Jenna pushed her hair behind her ear, a fire ignited within her. She wasn't going to let fear dim her spirit. If Charles Grayson is really my father, then I need to know why I was kept in the dark. Why now? Sam nodded, his expression resolute. Then let's find him. Wait, Olivia interjected. Before we go looking for him, there's something else I think you both need to know. Something connected to this trust. Jenna felt her breath catch again. Whatever Olivia was about to say could unravel the last threads of her understanding. What now? Sam asked, frowning at Olivia's sudden hesitation. As Jenna braced for the next revelation, she wondered, could this secret turn their lives inside out? Or would it finally bring clarity to the chaos that had consumed her? The waitress at the counter, catching snippets of their charged conversation, glanced over nervously. The weight of Jenna's old life pressed hard against the promise of a new one, and the stakes were rising. Tell us, Jenna urged, heart racing with the thrill of impending discovery. The truth was lurking in the wings, and she felt herself on the cusp of something monumental. But would this new revelation bring her closer to understanding her past? Or push her further away from the family she thought she had? Olivia took a deep breath, her eyes darting between Jenna and Sam. The air had grown thicker, charged with a mixture of anticipation and uncertainty. It's about the trust and the assets listed here. There's more than just money involved, she said slowly, making sure they understood the weight of her words. What do you mean? Jenna's voice rose, desperation knitting her brows together. She felt as though the ground beneath her was shifting again, ready to swallow her whole. There's a clause in the trust, Olivia continued, her voice steady. If the person establishing it, a parent or guardian, decides to reveal their identity, well, it triggers a process that could change everything for you, Jenna. Just be prepared for this. Sam leaned forward, eyebrows knit together. Change how? Olivia turned slightly, as if the eyes of the other diner patrons were weighing over them. The assets include properties, but there's also a stipulation about family connections. If you claim this trust, it may require you to confront who Charles Grayson really is, and the verdict of your life as you know it could hinge on this. A chill crawled down Jenna's spine. Confront him? Maybe not just him, Olivia replied softly. It could involve more family members, a whole history you've never known. It could be overwhelming. I've already been overwhelmed, Jenna snapped, frustration bubbling at the surface. I guess I just thought finding a father would come with answers, not more questions. Her heart raced as she struggled to process this new layer. What if uncovering the truth meant facing a stranger who was part of her blood? A father who had a life she never knew about? The tantalizing prospect of wealth, yes, but the emotional complexities felt heavier than gold. Sam reached out, placing his hand on Jenna's. Whatever it is, we'll face it together. I'm in this with you. Jenna offered a weak smile, reassurance washing over her, but the discomfort still lay between them like a chasm. Thanks, Sam. But what if it can't be fixed? What if he's been a ghost in my life for a reason? Then we'll find out why, Olivia said firmly. Whatever comes next, one thing is sure. You deserve to know your truth. Jenna nodded, her determination returning with each passing second. This was her chance, however complicated. So where do we start? Let's begin by looking into Charles Grayson's life, Olivia suggested. We need to find out more about him. Maybe even try to contact any relatives or associates. If he's involved in that trust, someone will know something. The energy shifted, and Jenna felt a spark igniting a cautious excitement within her. The unknown didn't scare her now as it had before. The urge to uncover the truth overpowered the fear of what it might reveal. Okay, let's do it, Jenna said, resolution threading through her voice as she stood straighter. But we need to be careful. I don't want to get hurt again. Just then, the front door of the diner opened abruptly. A tall man with an air of confidence stepped inside, scanning the room like a hawk. Jenna's breath caught. Is that... Sam whispered, his jaw slack with surprise. Olivia squeezed Jenna's arm, recognition flashing across her face. That's him. Charles Grayson. Jenna's heart thundered as she caught his gaze. Her body froze, caught between wanting to run, wanting to confront, and needing answers. The man she never knew was her father stood before her, and the end of one chapter was about to collide with the beginning of another. Is this really happening? Jenna's voice trembled, each word dripping with uncertainty and hope. And here it was, the moment that could change everything. Would it bring closure, or would it crack her world open even wider? As she took a step forward, she had to wonder, what would she say to the man who had unknowingly shaped her entire life? Jenna felt her pulse quicken as Charles Grayson's eyes locked onto hers. Time slowed around her, the hum of the diner fading into white noise. He looked older than she imagined, with sharp features and an intensity that made her stomach twist. Did he even know about her? Did he want to? Jenna, he said, hesitating as though testing the name on his tongue. The single word resonated in her chest, mixing hope with dread. Yes. I'm Jenna, she managed to say, her voice barely above a whisper. Every step she took toward him was a battle. Each one was loaded with unspoken dreams and fears she had bottled up her whole life. Suddenly Sam stood beside her, grounding her with his presence. Mr. Grayson, I'm Sam. We need to talk, he said, his tone steady yet assertive. The man's brow furrowed slightly, and Jenna took a moment to study him. Was this the father who had a life right under her nose? A figure that had hovered like a ghost in her mind since she learned of his identity? What's this about? Charles asked, his voice deep and measured. But there was a flicker of something in his eyes. Curiosity or apprehension, maybe both. Jenna opened her mouth to speak, but the words tangled in her throat. This was the moment she'd dreamed of since she learned his name. Yet now, faced with reality, she couldn't find the courage to let it all spill out. Olivia stepped forward, sensing the tension. "Mr. Grayson, we need clarity about the trust, about your relationship with Jenna, if any. She has rights to know the truth." At the mention of the trust, Charles's expression shifted. The confident mask slipped for just a moment, and Jenna caught a glimpse of something more vulnerable beneath. "The trust. I assumed it was a dead end," he said thoughtfully, rubbing the back of his neck. "I didn't expect this." Sam glanced at Jenna, who felt a whirlpool of emotions churning inside her. Was he guilty? Regretful? She realized there were layers to this man, just as there were layers to her life. "Why didn't you ever come for me?" she finally asked, the pain seeping through. He hesitated, then looked straight at her. "I didn't know I had a daughter until recently. It's complicated, and I should have reached out, but..." He stumbled over his words. "It wasn't that simple. There were people, things involved that made it difficult." Her breath hitched. Each word was loaded, and the air felt thick with unsaid truths. Jenna could feel the other diners casting curious glances their way. She was suddenly very aware of how exposed they were, emotions laid bare for everyone to see. "I don't want excuses," Jenna replied, trying to muster the anger. "I just want to know why. Why now? Why anyone at all?" Charles's gaze softened. "Because I learned that I might lose everything I care about, including the chance to know you. I should have fought harder." Fighting for what? She had spent her whole life wanting to feel like she belonged, wanting a reason. And here he stood, a reflection of the man who was supposed to have loved her mother. A long silence fell between them, crammed with anticipation. Jenna felt her heart pounding, a war raging between hurt, fear, and a budding sense of connection. Could they really move beyond this moment? Could he be what she'd always needed? She took a shaky breath. "Then let's figure this out together." "Can we talk somewhere private?" Charles asked, vulnerability breaking through his initial stoicism. Jenna nodded, uncertainty still clinging to her. Would this be a way toward healing, or just another painful reminder of what was lost? As she turned with Charles, she realized that every step brought her closer, not just to him, but to a world she didn't know yet, filled with possibilities she'd never dreamed of. What truths awaited them in that journey ahead, and would they be prepared for the fallout? They stepped outside into the cool air, the bustling sounds of the diner fading away, replaced by the distant hum of the city. Jenna felt a shiver run down her spine as a gentle breeze brushed against her, raising questions that had been dormant for too long. Charles led the way toward a quiet park nearby, its cherry blossom trees in full bloom, petals fluttering like soft rain. Jenna's heart raced as they walked side by side. She stole glances, trying to decode his expression. Was he nervous, regretful, or maybe hopeful? So many emotions surged within her. It felt like a storm waiting to break. Once they reached a secluded bench, Charles turned to her, his eyes searching hers. "I never wanted to hurt you," he began, the weight of his words heavy in the air. "But my world is complicated. There were people who would have loved to destroy me if they knew." Jenna crossed her arms defensively. "Complicated. That's an understatement. But I don't care about your complications. I care about what you're going to do now." The vulnerability in her voice betrayed her strong facade. She wanted answers, not just for herself, but as a way to understand the father she'd never known. He exhaled slowly, glancing out at the park. "There's a lot to explain. Then start talking." She pressed, her heart tightening with each beat, driven by both anger and the flicker of hope that maybe he would surprise her. Charles rubbed his hands together, as if trying to gather the threadbare pieces of his story. "Your mother and it was a different life back then. I was young, reckless, and not the man I am today. I got swept away in things that I thought would bring me happiness. But I didn't know she was pregnant. We lost touch. By the time I found out. By the time you found out what? Jenna challenged. Was it too late? It was. But knowing you exist, it's shaken me. He confessed, the raw honesty in his voice disarming her. I tried to protect you from everything. People who wanted to use you against me. But maybe I was just protecting myself instead. Jenna shook her head, feeling anger bubbling up again. I don't want your protection. I want to be a part of your life, if that's even possible. But you've got to meet me halfway here. If you only see me as some pawn in your messy life, I'm not sure it's worth it. He looked at her with deep remorse. And for a moment, Jenna thought she might see a flash of mirroring pain in his eyes. You're right. I've thought of you as a secret, something I was afraid to confront. But now, I don't want you to be a secret anymore. The weight of those words hung between them, igniting a fragile hope. Jenna blinked back tears that threatened to fall. Could it really be that simple? Then, what does that mean for us? She asked quietly, the fear creeping back into her voice. What does it mean for all of us? Charles took a moment before he replied, his brows knitted together in thought. It means I will fight for you, for the relationship we could build. There are many things I need to sort out. But it starts here. Jenna felt a flicker of something. Was it excitement? Relief? Yet above those feelings lingered doubt. And will it really be enough? Can we really move forward? Just then, Sam appeared at the edge of the park, looking for them, anxiety etched on his face. Jenna's stomach knotted. Time was slipping away. Jenna, I'm glad I found you, he called out, urgency in his tone. As Sam approached, Jenna turned back to Charles, bracing herself for an answer that would reshape her life. We need to make decisions today. Are you ready? Charles's eyes locked onto hers, brimming with determination. The truth is out there, Jenna. I will do whatever it takes to keep you safe. And maybe even to really know you. That simple promise sent a shiver of possibilities rippling through her. But just as excitement ignited within her, uncertainty loomed. How many more truths were yet to be uncovered? As Sam reached them, straightening his shirt, Jenna felt a shift, a defining moment that was only the beginning. She stood at a crossroads, unsure of which path to take. Could they really wade through the chaos together? And what hidden truths lay buried, waiting to be uncovered, threatening to change everything once more? Jenna! Sam rushed towards them, his brow knit tightly with concern. The urgency in his eyes made Jenna's heart thump harder. She wanted to shout for time to stand still so she could figure out everything swirling inside her. But as Sam approached, reality slammed into her like a cold wave. Is everything okay? Sam's gaze darted between Jenna and Charles, his awareness on the tension in the air. Jenna hesitated. The corners of Charles's mouth tightened, hinting at the monster lurking under the surface of his calm. Finally, Charles straightened, his voice steady and clear. We were just talking about certain family matters, Jenna cut in, trying to keep her emotions in check. She wasn't sure how much Sam should know. Not yet. Family matters? Sam echoed, his skepticism clear. He crossed his arms, looking her way. Jenna, you didn't tell me. There were things we needed to sort out. Sam, please, she started, her voice shaky but determined. Charles stepped in, his tone protective now. I have things to explain, things that matter to both of you. My past is complicated, and it impacts Jenna's future. Jenna felt a surge of frustration at being talked about like she was an object in this conversation, but part of her craved the strength of Charles's certainty. Still, she needed to assert herself. I can speak for myself, Charles. I know. He nodded, the sincerity in his eyes cutting through some of her tension. But there are threats from my past. If you're going to know me, you need to understand all of it, including why I did what I did. Sam, still confused and visibly worried, turned to Jenna. What does that mean? Are you safe? Should we be concerned? Jenna took a deep breath, grounding herself. There are situations that involve my father. You know, the one I've been trying to find. Her voice steadied like a river finding its course. And it looks like I've finally found him. Sam's eyes widened. Wait, you're telling me this guy is your dad? The mysterious millionaire? You're serious? Charles placed a hand lightly on her shoulder, a gesture of support that sparked warmth in her. I am. Jenna could feel every word she'd been holding back tumbling inside her. But it's not just about the money or who he is. I want to understand what drove him away all those years, and what it means for me now. Sure, but it still feels like we're in over our heads, Sam replied, his concern shifting into a protective stance. It's not just your decision anymore, Jenna, Charles interjected, his voice softening. You have a right to know your legacy, but also to choose how deeply you want to dive into this. Legacy? What do you mean? Sam asked. Let me explain, Charles began, his voice layering the park in heavy truths, just waiting to be unraveled. But before he could finish, Jenna felt a pull in her gut. No, there's something else, she said, her heart racing. Something I need to know before we go any further. What? Sam frowned, sensing her sudden urgency. What really happened with my mom? Why did she never tell me about you? Did you love her? The silence that blanketed the air was cold and thick. Charles's expression tightened, and Jenna felt her heart stumble. Would he fill the air with the easy, placating lies she feared? Or would he be raw in honesty? Charles glanced at Sam, then back at Jenna, the weight of decades hanging in the air. I always held back the truth, he confessed, a mixture of sorrow and regret pouring from his eyes. But I need you to understand. It wasn't just her choice to keep it a secret. Jenna's breath hitched at the implications. Questions swirled, but hers was singular and powerful. What are you trying to say? Before he could respond, the shadows of the trees danced ominously, as if reflecting the uncertainty in her own heart. Could this truth be more than she was ready to uncover? And as the petals from the cherry blossoms drifted like whispers around them, a sense of destiny hung significantly close. What pieces were still at play, waiting to emerge from the shadows? The answers she needed were closer than she ever imagined, yet a storm was brewing inside her, one that threatened to shatter all foundations she thought she understood. What more would she discover about her past, and was she prepared for the revelation of her mother's secrets? The air thickened around them, the tension palpable as Jenna waited for Charles to answer. She felt a strange mix of hope and dread, like standing on the edge of a cliff, peering into the unknown. Your mother loved me, Charles finally said, his voice barely above a whisper. But it was complicated. We were both young. There were things happening, things I couldn't control. What things? Jenna demanded, her heart pounding. You're not telling me everything. I want to. I really do, he replied, running a hand through his hair. The familiar gesture reminded her of how he'd often looked so contemplative, even vulnerable in their short time together. But it's not just about us. Not just about you? Sam interjected, his brow furrowing. What does that mean? Charles took a deep breath, clearly struggling with his words. I didn't know she was pregnant when everything fell apart. When she left without a word, I thought I would have time to fix things. But by then... His voice broke, the sorrow weighing heavy in the space around them. Jenna swayed slightly, the world tilting on its axis. So, what you're saying is... You never knew about me. No, Jenna, I never knew, Charles said, pain evident in every syllable. Until 3 weeks ago, I thought I had lost her entirely, that she had moved on. But my mom had a whole new life, Jenna whispered, her mind racing. How could she not tell me? Sometimes love isn't enough, he replied, his gaze distant and remorseful. Sometimes fear drives choices. Fear of the past. Fear of rejection. She was afraid I wouldn't accept you, just like her. Jenna's emotions crashed like waves against a rocky shore. Betrayal, sadness, anger. Each feeling pounded through her, a dizzying mixture. She had always wondered why her mother had kept her father a secret, but hearing this was more than she could bear. And you? Jenna struggled to ask. What do you feel now? For me? For her? I feel regret. So much regret, he said, his eyes glistening under the twilight. I never had the chance to be there for either of you. And every day since, I've wanted to change the past. She couldn't push down the lump in her throat. Why now? Why did you suddenly decide to look for me? I learned things, Jenna. Things that put you in danger. That's why I tried to find you. Charles stepped closer, sincerity washing over his features. Your safety is my priority now. Sam shifted, his protective instincts kicking in. What kind of danger? Charles exchanged a glance with Jenna before focusing back on Sam. There are people from my past who have unfinished business, and now it seems they want Jenna to pay for it. A chill swept through Jenna as she processed his words. What? Who? I can't say too much yet, but there are people willing to go to extremes. You have to trust that I will protect you, no matter what. Trust, Jenna echoed, feeling a surge of uncertainty. You want me to trust you when you've just revealed a whole world of secrets? I know this is a lot. I understand if you're angry. But I need you to listen. This isn't just about family ties. It's also about your life and whether you want to be part of it, he urged. What if I don't want to be? Jenna shot back, feeling both brave and terrified. Then it's your choice to make, he said gently. But I hope you will take this chance to learn who you are and where you truly came from. Jenna felt a wave of confusion wash over her. She was being asked to navigate turbulent waters without a map, and each moment felt like an adventure wrapped in shadows. Before she could process everything further, her phone buzzed in her pocket, pulling her back to the present. With a quick glance at the screen, her heart plummeted. An anonymous message warning her to back off. What is it? Sam asked, noticing her expression change. Someone knows, she breathed, fear creeping in. And they are watching. As the evening light dimmed, Jenna realized that the truth she'd been seeking were just the beginning. What would happen when the past collided violently with the present? And would she be ready for the storm to come? Jenna stood between the two men, her heart pounding as she processed Charles's revelation and the threat lingering just a breath away. Just moments before, she had been stepping into a new chapter, and now she felt it could slip from her grasp. Someone is watching? Sam echoed, worry etched deep in his features. Jenna, are you safe? I think so, she stammered. But doubt cast shadows in her mind. Charles had surrounded himself with complications, and now they were entangling her. The weight of her mother's choices loomed large, pressing down on her chest. Charles stepped closer, as if he could solve the puzzle that had become her life with mere proximity. This isn't just about my past, he said, voice steady. It's about our future. I'll protect both you and Olivia. We can turn this around together. Together. Jenna repeated slowly, the word hanging in the air, bittersweet. But what does that mean when I don't even know you? When I don't know if I can trust you? I understand. His gaze softened, a mixture of pain and conviction. But trust grows with time. I want to earn it, first by helping you understand the truths of your life, and then by making sure you're safe. You haven't earned it already? Sam interjected, his protective nature flaring. You can't just waltz in and expect her to believe everything you say. There are real stakes here. Jenna appreciated Sam's concern, the way he had always stood by her through her struggles. I don't want to be a part of some high-stakes game, she said, voice steady despite the turmoil inside. What if digging into your past only throws us further into danger? If we keep our distance, we let fear win, Charles replied, his voice rising just slightly. I won't let the forces from my past dictate your future. The weight of his promise hit her, igniting a flicker of determination within. Then we'll confront it. If my past ties back to yours, we can't run. We need to face whatever comes next. Together. Sam glanced at her, surprise flickering across his features. You're sure? Yeah. Jenna took a deep breath. It's time to break this cycle of secrets. I want answers, not just for myself, but for my future. Charles nodded, pride shimmering in his gaze. Then let's figure out who's following you, and why. Just as they began strategizing, a rustle in the nearby bushes made all their heads snap around. Heart racing, Jenna squinted into the shadows. A figure stepped out, gangly and disheveled, yet familiar. Lizzie, Jenna gasped, a mix of relief and dread washing over her. Lizzie, her childhood friend, stood there wider-eyed than ever. I saw you walk into the park. I was worried. You didn't answer my calls, Lizzie blurted, panic evident in her voice. Worried? About me? Jenna said, gripping the strength of loyalty in her chest. How could you possibly know? Lizzie took a step forward, glancing at Charles and Sam before focusing back on Jenna. I got a strange call. Someone claiming they had information about an inheritance and your father. Then I saw a post about you. I had to come. I had no idea things had gone so deep. Jenna felt her heart swell. Lizzie had always been there, and the loyalty enveloping her filled the air with hope. I need you with me. I will, whatever it takes, Lizzie said, glancing warily at Charles. That won't even be necessary, Charles reassured, his voice steady. You're safe with us. These are shadows of my past I want to erase, not burden you with. Just then, her phone buzzed again, another anonymous message flashing on the screen. Back off while you still can. Jenna shivered, but then felt warmth from her friends surrounding her. They want me to run away, but we need to keep moving forward. Sam placed his hand on her shoulder. Let's craft a plan. We're not doing this alone. With newfound purpose, Jenna gathered her courage, framed by the supportive figures surrounding her. Then we take the fight to him. Together, we'll uncover the truth, discover who would go to such lengths, and face them. Charles nodded, determination written across his face. You're right. This isn't just about protecting you. It's about reclaiming our pasts. Let me lead the way. As twilight descended over the park, Jenna felt the culmination of her journey ahead of her. No longer shrouded by fear or isolation, she had allies. With these bonds forming stronger in this moment, she realized that she was no longer just the waitress enveloped by uncertainty. She was standing on the precipice of discovery, ready to reclaim her family's story, whatever it held. As she took a step forward, her heart surged with renewed hope. Together, they would discover the truth behind the shadows, come what may. Jenna felt the weight of everything she had always longed for, building in her chest. A family, a place to belong, and the strength to confront whatever dangers lay ahead. She looked around at Sam, Lizzie, and Charles. No more secrets, no more running. As they walked towards their uncertain future, Jenna knew they were crafting their own story. One that was alive, filled with hope, and ultimately a celebration of the unbreakable bonds of family. Now is the time to take action. If you want to keep seeing transformative stories like this, you need to subscribe now to the channel. hit that like button and feed the algorithm to show your support. Comment below and share your thoughts and feelings about Jenna's epic journey and what impacted you the most. You can also share this video instantly with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation. Don't wait. Not even one more second. Real fans understand the importance of supporting the channel. Let's keep these inspiring stories alive.